Yo, what is up, guys? Ice Not Shy Steer. Back at it again with another video. I'm sick again, which is awesome. I just love being sick while I'm making videos, but hope it's not too distracting. Anyway, Onward VR just released their anticipated 2.0 update, and so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to review the game and the update. So this is the standard rating rubric I'm gonna have for the foreseeable future. These are the categories I have. Gameplay is out of 10, interactions. So that's like a more VR specific thing. It's like how the player interacts with the world and the objects and just how it functions as a VR game. That's out of 10 points. The game's graphics, pretty self-explanatory. That's gonna be out of 10 points. And then UI and the audio are both gonna be out of 5 points. And then the conclusion, that's out of 10 points. That's kind of just like how the game all ties together and just like gives games with like that are missing in some aspects like an opportunity to boost their final score if like the overall package is pretty solid. Yeah, and then here I got like the final score and like the kind of like almost grades that is associated with each score. Alright guys, before we get started, I just want to talk about I'm really doing bad right now, guys. I want to talk about just like the history of this game and like the history that I have with this game. Onward came out, I think I want to say 2018, 2019, and it was like ahead of like almost anything that was out during the time. Like it was actually peak. The graphics were amazing. The sound design was amazing. Like it was ahead of the curve really for a multiplayer shooter at that time. And then it just kept getting bigger and bigger. They kept adding cooler and cooler stuff. And then until they finally got to version 1.7. And at this point, the game is like actually unreal. Like it was one of my first experiences with VR. I played at a friend's house. And I'm like, yo, bro, like this is the future. Like this is actually dope as hell. You know what I mean? But then the Quest 1 comes out, right? And Onward wants to expand their player base. But instead of just making a separate Quest version, they actually combined the two. And mind you, this is the Quest 1. This is not even the Quest 2. So they had to downgrade the game heavily. Like they had to, it was tough what they had to do to the game. And that just really split the community. And they've been working back at updating the game and making it better and better and better. But it still just isn't the same in my opinion. But they just dropped the big 2.0 update. So that brought me back in, and I'm gonna be using that update to make this review today. All right, so first thing we're gonna look at here is the game's graphics. So with the 2.0 update, the main thing they updated are the map fidelity and how lighting affects the game. It's a little bit more vibrant, like the colors pop at you more, and it looks fine, you know. The main thing is though, this game is very sharp, and I really appreciate that. A lot of like VR games kind of have this fuzziness to them. Not Onward, whatever they did, it's a good sharp picture. The only thing is there's like fog at a distance, but I think it's more of a gameplay thing. But like I'm showing on the screen here though, I just don't think it's up to par with the 1.7 version at all though. It's almost like they're going for two different things here, or they went for two different things here. Right now the game is kind of more vibrant, like more pop in it, if that makes sense. But in 1.7 it was more like undertone, gritty, realism type graphics. I feel like the graphics now are more like stylized and cartoony, and the graphics back then were more like realism and realistic. And I think for this type of game, it just worked better when it was like trying to go for that realism look. But what they have now is fine. I just think it kind of clashes with the theme of the game. But for what they got here, it does look pretty good. Also, really quick side tangent here. They added new character models and they look fine. But I just think these older ones are way cooler, and this whole like operator, like specialist thing that's been going on in gaming the last few years, I'm getting really sick of it. I think it just takes away style from games, and I think these old generic soldiers looks way cooler. But because of all those reasons, I'm going to be giving the graphics a 7.5 out of 10. For what they are, they're pretty good, and I appreciate the sharpness. Alright, so next up we're going to be looking at the game's interactions, and this is kind of like how it feels and functions as specifically a VR game. Alright guys, so we're in the shooting range right now, and the guns in this game, they feel good to shoot. They sound good, got good effects, you know, like, they feel good to shoot. I think it's actually one of the better like guns in VR to shoot. Like that aspect feels great, and then that's like where it kind of stops being good. So this one isn't the biggest deal ever, but there's no weight to the guns at all. They just stick directly to your hand and will follow it to a T. There's really no physics interactions to anything. So like here, you can't miss it. You see that? I'll just like, you can't like, it just like snaps right into place. No collision on anything. All it does is you can't shoot the gun. No interaction there. You just kind of hover. It's pretty awkward. I don't know. I feel like this part is especially disappointing to me because one of the big like features of this update was that they redid a lot of the gun models. But what's the point if you came in, like, interact with them properly? It just feels outdated. I really hope this is something that could potentially come in the future. And, yeah, the interactions with the guns don't feel great. And another thing here, the physics in this game are just not good, like, all around the board, because there's no, look here. Like, that was really goofy as fuck. Like, I'm really not a fan of the death animation in this game. It's especially more noticeable in VR. Ragdoll physics is like one of the biggest feedback things. When you defeat an opponent, you expect them to react a certain way, but this just feels cartoony. It's not immersive, especially after playing games that have great ragdoll physics in VR. It really just takes out the experience, and it just like it doesn't feel right. I'd really like them to re-implement ragdoll physics because they had them in the game and they were great, but they decide to remove them, and I think it's something that's really hurting the game.
This is a comparison video of Onward's ragdoll system being removed in the recent 1.8 update from 1.7. Why is this video important? It's not. I just felt like making it. I just want to show that without the ragdoll system, the game comes off as more of an arcade shooter, whereas with the ragdoll system, the characters have a greater sense of weight behind them. Not so obvious when watching the video clips, but when you're behind the glass, the ragdoll system just adds so much more to the immersion and experience of the game. The threat becomes more real on a psychological level, whereas without it, these are just a bunch of cartoon characters that I'm shooting at.
Also, the weird thing about the AI not having ragdoll is that player versus player experience has ragdoll. It's not good at all though. I'll show some clips.
Oh my god.
It's also really goofy. It's better than this. I'll say that. It's better than that for sure, but it's still not great at all. It just seems like something that should have been addressed in a big 2.0 update, the physics interactions, because that's where the space is going. The interactions are just getting better and better and better. Like, for example, Behemoth had amazing interactions. Every combat encounter felt fresh, unique. And for a shooter, for example, Veil also has really good physics, and it really benefits the game. It makes the gunfights feel, everyone's unique. It feels immersive, being able to see your body and see the enemy player body and like how it reacts, like ducking behind cover and when you kill them, how body reacts and the feedback to that is really satisfying and immersive. Another big thing that really hurts the interactions and immersion in this game is that there's no player body at all. There's no arms, there's no legs, there's no nothing. There's no options for it, which was interesting to me specifically in this update because they wanted to add all these character models, right? But then they don't give you the option to see your character model's arms or legs or body. So what's even the point of adding them? That just seemed like a weird like oversight to me. It just seemed like it just kind of seemed like they added the player models as almost like a gimmick because, like I said before, what's the point if you can't even see your character models? It's just these disembodied floating hands. This again being another thing they removed from the game. But yeah, no body physics, which is weird because they wanted to add like 20 character models. but you can't even tell who you are. So, I don't know. Another thing about the player models, guys, in this game is that the rigging is really bad. Like, moving looks awkward. The proportions are just really wonky, and like no one's ever the right height. Like, the running animations are really goofy. Yeah, the player rigs in this game, they just unfortunately they don't look that great at all, and they just look kind of silly. So yeah, kind of a heavy section there, and yeah, because of all the reasons listed, I can only give this a 5.5 out of 10. It's just not up to par with modern standards in my opinion, and for this big 2.0 relabel, it's just disappointing in my opinion. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the UI a little bit. So pretty much the menu button that, like, for every single VR game ever, it does nothing. I'm clicking it, I don't know if you can hear that. It literally does nothing at all. You have to press the top buttons, either Y or B, and then that doesn't bring up a menu screen, it just brings up this. From here, then you can access the settings. Now for the UI design, the UI design is fine, it's consistent. They have kind of this gray tone thing going on, and it works. It's seems like a little cluttered in some areas, definitely for sure like this, but you know, it's fine, it gets the job done, it's consistent. I like it, it's better, it's good, I'll say it's good. Alright, so the next section we're going to be looking at here is the audio. I'm just get this out the way really quick. I think the gun sounds, they updated, it's slightly less good than what they used to sound like before. They were just really loud and that good snap. But now, even still, that's not as good. Audio design in this game is really still just top notch. Bullets whiz past you. You can hear shots cracking in the distance. Your guns feel hefty and powerful. It's really good. I'm gonna give you a little example here for a little firefight.
One dead back of the door. One outside this. Yep, one's on it, one's on it. One down left side. One's on the roof.
I got two of them. So the audio's gonna get a 4.5 out of 5. Not as good as it used to be, but still really excellent overall. Okay, so you might have been watching up to this point thinking like, yeah, the graphics are okay, the sound design's good, it has okay UI, but the interactions seem off. Like, what is it about this game? Why is it so big? And that's because it passed everything, past the wonky physics and like the downgrade. The reason people still play this game is because the moment-to-moment gameplay is some of the most fun you can have in VR. The intense firefights when like you're ducking behind cover and there's bullets whizzing past you and your teammates are screaming over the radio trying to figure out where they are and you're sliming kids. It's like all the downgrades and like the missteps in the physics and whatnot, it all goes away when you're just playing the game. So that's one thing Onward has it going for it that's very strong, is it's fun as hell. Past everything, it's just a good game to play. So I'm gonna be giving the gameplay a 9 out of 10. It's really good stuff despite all of the shortcomings. So what is the final verdict for Onward VR? And what I came up with is that the game has just shifted. It's no longer the super realistic tactical hardcore shooter it used to be back in 1.7. More so, it's shifted to kind of quote-unquote tactical hero arcade shooter. I think is the best way to describe what it's become these days. And for what that is good. It does that well. But it's just something deep inside me misses that's that old stuff, man. But for what it is, Onward is a well put together product. So I'm gonna be giving it 7.5 bonus points. It's good for what it is. I just liked the old direction better, and I just feel like this game hasn't lived up to its true potential. But also, I'm just not a fan of this whole 2.0 rebranding, but it's just like they added minimal things. Like character models is cool, but like I said, there's no player body to even appreciate that. And I just feel like this update doesn't deserve this whole 2.0 mantra. So with that brings Onward VR's final score to a 38 out of 50, which is low-key higher than I want it to be, because I feel like this game just didn't live up to the potential or to like what it could have been. But for what it is, like I said before, for what it is, it's good, polished enough product other than the things I listed before. So I can't in good faith not recommend this game. Alright guys, so that's about gonna do it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments where you agree, where you disagree, and what you think of Onward VR. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.